Happy morning, children. Welcome to Blue Stars High Secondary School online classes. Today you have your class for standard 10. Okay, we are going to see the 7th unit, part 2 of the lesson, The Dying Detective. Okay, do you remember this lesson? Yes. So it is about the detective called Sherlock Holmes, okay, who is in his deathbed, okay, who seems to be very sick. And he told that he is affected with a rare disease. It's a Sumatran disease, isn't it? Yeah, yes. So he's, a housemaid. Okay, his housemaid is he's just asking his housemate Mrs. Hudson to bring Dr. Watson to treat him. Okay, when Dr. Watson came, he told Sherlock Holmes told to Dr. Watson not to touch any of the things. Okay, and he asked him to wait till 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, Sherlock Holmes is telling Dr. Watson to bring Culvert and Smith from the Baker Street. Okay, so now Dr. Watson, what he did, that is the remaining part of the story. We stop there. Do you remember now? Yes. So let us see what happens next. Okay. Okay, so here when Dr. Watson came to Culvert and Smith house, okay, and he's just coming to the house in a cab, okay, and this Dr. Watson is telling to Sherlock Holmes that I will bring him in a cab. Understood? No, you will persuade him to come and return before him. Make an excuse. Remember this, Watson. So now what Sherlock Holmes is telling? No, you go and you make him come here. But you have to start from there before Culvert and Smith come out of the house. Okay. And see here, I saw Mrs. Hudson was waiting outside, trembling and crying. Below, as I waited for the cab, I met Inspector Morton of the Scotland Yard. He was not in his uniform. Understood? So now what happens? Sherlock Holmes told to Dr. Watson to go to Culverton Smith house and inform him that Dr. Sherlock Holmes is very sick. Okay, and he has to make him come to and meet Sherlock Holmes. And also, Sherlock Holmes told to Dr. Watson that he has to inform this to Culverton Smith, and he has to start from Culverton Smith house before he come out of the house. Okay, so this is what he is telling. And now when Dr. Watson is coming out, he is just meeting, he could see Mrs. Hudson, who is crying. Okay, he is very much worried about the health condition of Sherlock Holmes. And when he come downstairs, he could see near the car, Inspector Morton is just standing there, but he was not in the uniform. Okay, he is in a mufti. So you could see Inspector Morton of the Scotland Yard. How is he? Asked Inspector Morton. He is very ill, I answered. So what is he asking? Inspector Morton is asking to Dr. Watson, how is he? So he here refers to Sherlock Holmes. Okay. So he is very ill, I answered. So he is telling that he is not that much good. He is very sick. Now see, I reached Mr. Culverton Smith's house. The butler appeared at the doorway. Through the half open door, I heard a man's voice telling the butler, I am not at home, say so. So now what happens? This Dr. Watson is going to Culverton Smith's house. Okay. And now a butler is a cook there. Okay. Who is just, the cook at the home. He's just coming and he's opening the door, and the door was just half open, it was not fully open, and this butler is inquiring who he is. When he was inquiring, Dr. Smith was this this Culverton Smith, no, he is just sitting inside and telling, tell them whomever it may be, tell them that I am not at home. Okay, which means he is not interested in meeting any people. Okay, when he heard the voice, when Dr. Watson heard Smith's voice, immediately, see what he did? I pushed past the butler and entered the room. I saw a frail man with bald head sitting. I am sorry, I said, but the matter cannot be delayed. Mr. Sherlock Holmes. So, what is this? When he heard Mr. Smith's voice, he immediately pushed the butler and he just opened the door and went inside. He was not waiting for someone to ask him to come inside. Okay, he was just pushing the butler and he just went inside. And inside there was a frail man with bald head. Okay, he's just sitting there and he's telling, I'm sorry for what I did, because without your permission I have come inside your house, but I have something very important to tell to you. So, and after this, he's telling Mr. Sherlock Holmes. When he says this, Holmes, the mere mention of his name had a different effect on the man. Okay, and this Culverton Smith was very much shocked. The behavior was changed after he heard the name of Sherlock Holmes. Have you come from Holmes? How is he? He asked. So what is this man asking? You can just see here this Culverton Smith, okay, with the bald head. So you just see what he is asking. Have you come from Holmes? How is he? He asked. So Culverton Smith is asking to Dr. Watson. He is very ill, that is why I have come. Mr. Holmes has a high opinion of you and thought you are the only man in London who can help him. So, what is he telling? So, already Sherlock Holmes has told Dr. Watson that he has to make Culverton Smith come and meet him, isn't it? So, he had to speak. So, now Dr. Watson is telling, yes, he is very ill, okay, and he told that you are the only person. So this man is telling to him that you are the only person who could come and help Sherlock Holmes. Okay, and he has a very high opinion about you. And on hearing this, the little man was startled. He was very shocked. Why? He asked. Okay, though because he was not a doctor, but here Sherlock Holmes is telling that his sickness can be cured only by this Culverton Smith. So he was very startled, he was surprised. Okay, and he is asking why he said so. Because of your knowledge of the Eastern diseases, I replied. So, what Watson is telling? He's telling you are having a wide knowledge about the Eastern diseases. So, Sherlock Holmes is also affected with the Eastern disease. So, only you can come and cure it. Okay. How did he get it? He asked. I told him everything. He smiled and agreed to come. Pretending that I had some other appointment, I left him. With a sinking heart, I reached Holmes' room. I told him that Mr. Smith was coming. So now what happened? This man, no, this Culverton Smith, he is asking, how did he get this disease? And now Watson is telling everything. So what happened from the beginning, where he went, how he got everything, he's telling to him. Okay, and then after telling to him, he was just acting that he got some other work, so he want to go for that work, and he requested Culverton Smith to go and see Sherlock Holmes. Okay, so I left him, and now, with a sinking heart, he reached Holmes' room. And then, after coming to Holmes' room, Watson is telling, I informed to Smith, and Mr. Smith is coming. So, now see what Sherlock says. Well done, Watson, he said. You have done everything that a good friend could do. Now, you disappear to the next room and don't speak or come here. Now, what Sherlock Holmes is telling, okay, you have done a really very good job. Okay, as a friend, you have done a really very good job. And now, what he has to do, he is asking Watson to do. You go and hide in the next room. Whatever happens, you don't come here or never speak anything. Just listen to what is and observe what is happening in this room. See, I heard the footsteps. I heard a voice say, Holmes, Holmes, can you hear me? So now, when they were just talking, they could hear a footstep. Someone is coming near the man. Okay, it was, and the voice is calling, Holmes, Holmes. Okay, can you hear me? And now, Dr. Holmes is telling, Is that you, Mr. Smith? Holmes whispered. Why is he whispering? Because he is affected. Okay, he is affected with a disease and he is so ill. That is why. You know what is wrong with me? You are the only one in London who can cure me. So, what is he telling? Yeah, you know, only you know about this disease, and only I believe that you can cure my disease. Okay. Do you know the symptoms? Asked Smith. Only too well, Mr. Smith, and he described the symptoms. Okay, and now Smith is asking to Sherlock Holmes, so what about your symptoms? What are the symptoms do you have? And when Sherlock Holmes says about the symptoms, see, they are the same, Holmes, Smith said. And now what is he telling? He is telling they are the same symptoms. Why he is telling this? Because, see here, poor Victor was a dead man on the fourth day, a strong and healthy young man. What a coincidence indeed. I know that you did it, said Holmes. Well, you can't prove it. Give me water, please, Holmes groaned. Here, I heard Smith's voice. So, what is happening here? Yeah, so Sherlock Holmes is telling that he is also having some symptoms. When he just say the symptoms, Culverton Smith said, "Oh, it is the same symptoms." So who is the? It is nephew. Okay, is poor Victor. Victor is the name of a person who is a relative of Smith. Okay, and he's telling he also has the same symptoms, and then he was dead on the fourth day, and he was a strong and healthy man too. And now you are also having the same symptoms. What a coincidence! Like this, he is telling. See, and then now this Sherlock Holmes is telling, oh, so I know you did it, which means I know that you have killed Victor. You are the one who has killed this man, Victor. And for that, Smith is telling, well, you can't prove it, which means he has only killed Victor, but there is no proof for it. Okay. Now Holmes is asking, give me water, please. Here, I heard Smith's voice. So who is hearing all this conversation? Dr. Watson is hearing all this conversation from the next room. Okay. Cure me, please. Well, about Victor Savage's death. You did it. I'll forget everything. But cure me. I'll forget about it. So, what is he telling? Okay, so I know that you have killed Victor, but I will not say anything about it. I will just forget now itself. But you have to cure me because only you know the remedy for this disease. Who is telling this? Sherlock Holmes is telling to Smith. Okay. You can forget or remember just as you like. It doesn't matter to me how my nephew died. Watson said you got it from the Chinese sailors. Could there be any other reason? Okay, now what Smith is telling, see, either you remember it or forget it, I don't care about it. Okay, my nephew died. I mean, the Victor, no, the person, Victor Savage, he has died, but it doesn't matter to me. Okay, and now Watson told that you got this disease from a Chinese sailor. Can you think any other reason? So, which means Smith knows the reason for Holmes' illness. Let us see what is the reason. And see, Holmes is telling, I can't think. My mind is gone. Help me, pleaded Holmes. And now he is telling that, no, I could not think anything. I'm so sick. So please help me. What do you want to say? And now This Culverton Smith is asking, did anything come by post? A box by chance on Wednesday? See, so which means he has sent the box, isn't it? So, did anything come by post? A box by chance on Wednesday? Yes. So, Holmes is telling, yes, I opened it and there was a sharp spring inside it. A joke, perhaps. It drew blood, said Holmes. So, what is this? Yeah, I got a box on Wednesday, and this box, there was a sharp spring. When I was just trying to take it, it just cut my finger and it was drawing out some blood. It was a joke, Holmes was telling. Immediately, Smith is telling, no, it was not a joke, you fool. You have got it. Who asked you to cross my path? You knew too much about Victor's death. Your end is near, Holmes. I'll carry this box in my pocket, the last piece of evidence. So, what is he telling? Yeah, it is not a joke, but yeah, so Smith is telling that it was not a joke. Understood? And he has told that you know more about the Victor's case because Smith has already killed Victor. And being a detective, Sherlock Holmes was inquiring the case, isn't it? That is why Victor want to kill Sherlock Holmes also. Sorry, Smith wants to kill Sherlock Holmes also. That is why he has sent a box to him, okay, which carries a that disease infected spring, okay. So see here, and he is telling your end is near. You know more about Victor's death, and so your end is near. I'll carry this box in my pocket, the last piece of evidence. See, now turn up the gas, Smith, said Holmes in his natural voice. Yes, I will, so that I can see you better. Understood? So, what is he telling? Yeah, so this Smith was telling that it is only him who has killed Victor, and now who has, tried to kill. Okay, Sherlock Holmes also. When he admitted this, immediately he's telling Sherlock Holmes is telling to Smith, turn up the gas, the light. Okay, turn up the light. Said Holmes in his natural voice. Yes, I will. I can see you better. There was a silence. Then I heard Smith say, what's all this? Okay, and now when he is just turning on the light fully, he could see Sherlock Holmes is sitting in a good way. Okay, and he is very confused. Smith is completely confused and is asking, what's all this? Successful acting, said Holmes. For 3 days, I didn't taste anything, neither food nor drink, which means he's just acting as though he is infected with the disease. But actually, he is not infected. Okay, he was just acting just to find out who is the real culprit. Understood? So, he was just telling successful acting. And for 3 days, I was not eating anything, I was not drinking anything. So, finally, my acting is very successful. There were footsteps outside. The door opened and I heard Inspector Morton's voice. So immediately he was hearing the door is opening and who is coming inside now? Morton. He was waiting downstairs, right? He's coming there and he's telling, I arrest you on charge of murder, he said. If so, let me bring Sir Jaspet Meek or Penrose Fisher or Holmes. See here. There was a sudden rush and scuffle, followed by the clash of iron and sudden cry of pain. There was a click of handcuffs. Holmes asked me to come in. So finally, there was a policeman who was waiting down and who has come there to arrest this man, this Culverton Smith, who is a killer. Okay, he is a culprit who has killed Victor, his nephew Victor, and who is trying to kill Sherlock Holmes also. Immediately he was arrested. Okay. Sorry, Watson, I was rude to you. I undermined your capability as a doctor. It was just to get Smith here, and I didn't want you to know that I was not ill. Okay, so see here, what is he telling? Yeah, actually, he was not sick, right? He was just acting to find out the real culprit. Okay, who is the real murderer? That is why he was just acting. And now, so that is why he told Dr. Watson also not to come near him or not to touch anything in the room. Okay, and now he's just apologizing to Dr. Watson that he was very rude. Okay, and he's telling that if you come near me, you will find out that I am not, I'm all right and I am not ill. That is why I didn't allow you to come near me. And see, Dr. Watson is telling, but your appearance, I said, 3 days fasting and the makeup did the trick. So what is this? So 3 days he was just not eating anything, fasting he has, and he was just done some makeup also, like sick people. Okay, the coins. Oh, that was only to prove that I was delirious. He laughed. I need to eat now, Watson. Mr. Smith killed his nephew and he wanted to kill me the same way to avoid imprisonment. I need to eat now, Watson. I think that something nutritious at Simpson's would not be out of place. And thank you, Watson, he said. And now finally, his acting come to an end and he find out the real culprit. Okay, and now he's feeling hungry and he's just telling to Watson that he wants to eat something. So finally, the detective Sherlock Holmes has solved the murder case of Dr. Victor, and he find out that Culverton Smith is the real culprit. Okay, and now finally his acting comes to an end, and he and Dr. Watson is going to Simpson's place to eat some nutritious food. Okay, I hope you understand this lesson, children. See the summary of this lesson. The adventure of the dying detective focuses mainly on Sherlock Holmes himself, who claims to be a quite ill and about to die from a Sumatran disease. Mrs. Hudson, his housekeeper, is quite worried about him. So she convinces Dr. Watson to visit him in the apartment. Once Watson has seen Holmes, he too is convinced that Holmes is dying. So he leaves to fetch the one person who Holmes claims can save him. Who is that? Culverton Smith. Watson returns to Holmes' apartment before Smith and hides behind the bed in order to overhear what Smith and Holmes discuss. Smith admits to Holmes that he killed his own nephew. What is the name of the nephew? Victor. Okay. And also that he sent Holmes a package designed to infect him with the same disease. Holmes asks Smith to light the gas. This signal, so this lighting the gas is a signal to the police, and they were just sorry, this signals the presence of an investigator who is waiting outside to come inside and arrest Smith. Okay, hope you understand this lesson. Now read the lesson, children. Read your lesson in the textbook and learn the synonyms, antonyms, question answers from the material. Okay, write it and check once in the classwork. Learn and write whatever you are writing. Practice it in your classwork notebook. Don't just copy it. Practice it. Okay, children. Thank you, children. Have a blessed day.